So, next up on the list, completely shifting gears, is a song I love and think is the best song on the album and a brilliant pop masterpiece. And fuck the rest of you. Next up on the list, we have I Believe.
Oh.
Yeah, so this is my number one song on the album. I am shocked that it's in the middle, but also not shocked given the company that I have here.
Well, you want...
No, go ahead.
Oh, you want to talk about bad bridges? I Believe... Hang on. I Believe has this great banjo thing, and then this long-ass bridge of just kind of forgettable mush.
I'm disgusted by that take. I don't even know where to begin.
That banjo part is why it ranked higher than Flowers of Guatemala.
Ironically, that banjo part is why I ranked it, in the low mids.
Look, I think the intro, I think, does not fit in with the song at all. I almost don't even consider it part of the song. We're just like, I don't know why you put it here. It doesn't fit. It's kind of dumb. It's played well, but I just don't get the point. Like, it doesn't fit with the rest of it. But, it's played well. But the song itself is just a perfectly crafted pop masterpiece. Great lyrics, great melody, fantastic build. Just like the chorus just soars. It makes you feel good. Lots of clever lines. Good energy where... the other songs we mentioned earlier where I said the production doesn't fit with material, I'm having a disconnect. This is where the production is matching the material, everything is clicking into perfection. Like, this is musical perfection. I have zero complaints with it, other than that the intro is out of place. But, like, this is great. I don't know too much about REM, but I feel like this deserves to be a concert staple, deserves to be a fan favorite. Like, this is one of the songs I feel like should be played at every show, based upon my limited knowledge of the band. But, this is just a fantastic, fantastic cut. Victor, you can tell me why I'm wrong about this.
I don't think you're wrong. I just, it's so late in the album that I feel like there's other songs that kind of do various parts of this in ways that I like more. And this is one that I hear, my girlfriend likes this song a lot, and I'm kind of like,
correct.
It's good. I just don't love it. I do like it a lot though. It's on this album, so I probably like it. I understand intellectually that chorus soars, but it just doesn't always grab me.
You know what drop I forgot to use during the song about Reconstruction?
What?
Is the remarkably sexist drivel spouted by intentional, or is it just a horrible mistake?
I forgot I have a prejudice button. I just didn't bother to use it.
So, Steve, what did you think of this one?
I didn't like the banjo intro, but the rest of it I thought was a really solid song. Really solid, just album cut for this album.
Y'all wrong.
So I put it in the middle.
And, Gavin, you, 3 points out of a possible 12.
Yes. Because it starts off really promising with this great banjo thing.
Damn it!
That sounds like True Stories era David Byrne, and I get really excited. And then it just goes into kind of jangly guitar mush and just kind of, and I feel like I've never even really correctly heard the song because I'm just disappointed that the banjo thing went away. So I'm just kind of, down in the dumps for the next 2 minutes.
Disappointed that the banjo went away. The Gavin story.
Like a lot of Sufjan Stevens fans, I was disappointed when the banjo went away.
I mean, that's fair. That is a good assessment of that man's career.
I do say Age of Odds is my favorite Sufjan album. Well, no, it's a damn good album. I probably like Illinois more. Michigan more.
I just found it really surreal that this dude who was soft-spoken Christian artist was like, all right, lead single from this song, we're not fucking around. Like, whoa, yeah. Sufjan.
We're not.
What if your mother heard you saying that?
Oh, Tanagra, right? What was his mother's name? Carrie.
I don't know. Is she the same person from Pittsfield? Because I don't know. I guess he probably doesn't care what his mother thinks.
Yeah.
He wrote a song about it and everything.
Man, I'm just so shocked that that this is a song I have to defend in this ranking. Like, to me,
I'm shocked that people seem to like it less than me, because I knew you would like it a lot.
Yeah, because you've listened to enough episodes and you've talked with me enough where you kind of know my taste. Where you're just like, oh yeah, this song just has Greg written all over it.
Yeah. I think this riff is so, like, I love the way his guitar sounds on it. It's not, like, my favorite riff or anything, but I think just, like, the way that it comes in right after that banjo cuts off.
Oh yeah, I think it's great.
Like, it sounds so cool. But I just, like, oh, the other thing is, like, I didn't grow up in the South, but I'm from Washington, and Washington is called the Evergreen State, but that's just because, like, 80% of the people live in 20% of the land, and the rest of Washington is, like, dry bullshit. And I grew up in the dry bullshit part, so the lyrics about, like, coyotes and rattlesnakes, I'm like, hey, I know what those are. I've seen those.
I think that is one thing that was getting in my way of enjoying this tune was I don't have a concept of rattlesnakes being from San Francisco.
You just don't believe in them.
I've never seen one. He
doesn't believe in them. He doesn't
And-
believe time is an abstract or anything.
They're real cryptid to you. Like Bigfoots and rattlesnakes, just things that people who live in the woods make up to keep themselves entertained.
Yeah.
Because they don't have high-speed internet.
I believe in that
Dummies.
goddamn banjo that they teased me with and then ripped out from under me.
That San Francisco banjo.
Oh, yeah.
The old San Francisco banjo. That sounds like, I don't know, a real vulgar sex act.
You gotta give her the San Francisco banjo.
And this is possibly my favorite REM song, and I am so shocked that it's in the middle of this ranking.
Greg, I feel like I'm getting numb to your just weird left field takes.
Hey guys, I have a really wrong opinion about this. Why does nobody else share my really wrong opinion?
But I feel like there are a lot of my quote-unquote wrong opinions that I get why people don't agree with, like the weird Kiss progressive rock concept album about wizards and sorcery. I can see why that didn't land for a lot of people.
No, but you're just
I
right
love
about
The
that
Elder.
one.
The Elder's great.
And I'm confused that that's the opinion of mine that people are like, yeah, Greg's correct about that one. This is like, hey, here's a really catchy, soaring pop song that's anthemic about, like, you know, believing in things. Nah.
Believing
right
in
the
things
middle.
like Nashville.
Believing in things like the South was right about the Civil War.
Wait.
Oh, I wasn't giving the money to the poor.
So yeah, I can't fathom how this ended up in the middle, but it did. So next up on the list is my number 2 song on the ranking. Great transition. Next up is I Am Superman, next on the list.
Yeah.
Hey, Gavin and I rank this the same. Besties.
Yeah.
So this song, so I said previously that Swan Swan H was my favorite song for a while, and this used to be my least favorite song because I thought Swan Swan H was so cool and mysterious, and then this bullshit happens. But now I kind of am whatever about Swan Swan H, and I love this song. And I think there's sort of an REM phenomenon as you go through the catalog, specifically like this album and later. There's like every album usually has 1 or 2 Mike Mills led songs, and they're usually one of the better ones, and I think this is no exception.
Yeah, I mean, I think so when I first heard this, I didn't realize it was a cover. I'm just like, oh man, they just like wrote a really catchy song here. This is way catchier than most of the album. And then it got to the instrumental bridge, and I'm just like, oh no, this is definitely a cover, because that is way different than any of the other like instrumental sections of the album. They would not have come up with that idea.
I had no idea that it was a cover.
That's what actually helped me like it more.
Who wrote it?
That I don't remember. I can look it up though.
The Click from Texas.
Yeah, they're a relatively obscure 60s pop band. best known for REM covering their song.
Yeah, so if you go to the Superman The Click Song page on Wikipedia, the recommended art is the REM single.
Yeah, and look, the REM version is better. I listened to the original, and REM definitely improved upon the song. But as someone who listens to a lot of this kind of music, this is like kind of my bread and butter musically. So I'm like, yeah, a good 60s pop song. So, it was this and I Believe were neck and neck for the number one spot in the ranking. And for a while, Superman was winning, but I think I Believe is just a brilliantly, perfect pop song. And this is, still a really good pop song from an era of music that I like.
See, this one I would have just rather have heard The Who cover it. Like, I feel like The Who are really good at taking, pop songs that just aren't delivered with enough attitude the original time and adding the attitude that they need, and they could have pulled this off. Same way they did with Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting, in a way that just, I don't buy it from REM.
The Who covered Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting?
Yeah.
I've not heard that.
So, the...
Interesting.
The Nickelback cover of it?
No?
Oh.
No, we're not Canadian.
Look, I'll also be the first to admit I'm not super into The Who.
Okay. Well, picture Saturday Night's All Right for Fighting being done by, a band that you could picture getting in a fight on a Saturday night, and, not Elton John.
The thing is, I can't picture most of The Who getting into a fight because, Roger Daltrey, I could see that, but, Pete Townsend is soft. He is a soft man.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, Superman, it's catchy.
Yeah, it's, I had this at number 9, but I really like this tune. It's good. It's a decent single.
It's one of the ones I find myself singing a lot off this album, which I think helps it.
Mm.
And it's fun to sing with another person because there's the two parts.
Right?
Ooh. Well, that this is similar to the Paul Stanley, Michael Stipe co-write song. Do you guys remember that? Oh, do you guys remember the song that I'm thinking of?
No, tell us, Gavin.
All American Superman. I am a 6 foot hot look all American Superman.
I appreciate you trying really hard to make that one work.
Oh man,
that actually flowed pretty well.
So the one thing about this song that I don't like is the lyric, if you go a million miles away, I'll track you down, girl. Which is it's very of the time it was written. And I guess that used to be an acceptable thing to be able to do.
It's an acceptable thing to say to a woman nowadays. It's just creepy. Also, that's not even how the Earth is shaped.
Yeah,
dude, it's about interplanetary travel.
Oh, all right. I'm sold on this song. No, not
He's
really.
That would make it more of a Pixies thing.
The version I sing is always, if you open up those legs, I'll go to town, girl.
How progressive.
Trust me when I say I know the pathway to your heart. That lyric gets weirder in that context.
Look, you go down on a girl, that's the pathway to her heart.
And isn't that really what Michael Stipe was...
Yeah.
Isn't that really what Michael Stipe was trying to say?
This is Mike Mills.
Isn't that really what Mike Mills was trying to say?
I mean, Mike Mills didn't write it, though, so isn't that really what, I don't know, Mitchell Bottler and or Gary Zeekley were trying to say?
Well, I wrote that.
Right. That's Victor's new replacement lyric, so it's a feminist anthem.
Mitchell Bottler and Gary Zeekley had to be subtle about those kind of references because it was the 60s.
Classic Gary.
If you really look into it, most songs in the 60s are actually about cunnilingus. They're just, really subtle about it.
Right. Why don't we do it in the road?
Oh, yeah.
You know what it is.
So any other comments on I Am Superman before we move on?
It's fine.
I like it.
It's right about my cutoff for if I were to start trimming out songs from this album.
See, I think it's great, and I will say, with Swan Swan H, it reminded me of other songs I liked more, and it hurt the song. There are other Superman-themed songs that I like more than this one, but this is so good that it didn't hurt it.
You know what's a great song about Superman? Superman's Dead by Our Lady Peace. I didn't even compare the two, though, unlike last week.
There you go.
You're welcome, Greg.
Thanks. My personal favorite Superman song is Superman by the Kinks. Because, 60s pop bands. Surprise, surprise.
Nobody's going to say their favorite is Kryptonite by Three Doors Down?
No, my favorite song that references Superman is God of Thunder.
I like the Kinks song better.
Oh, well, I forgot there was a Kinks one. But I would say the God of Thunder reference is the more subtle, but yet also, wait a minute, what? Why? It's about a demon born on Olympus. Why is he the modern day Man of Steel?
Oh wait, the Paul Stanley version of God of Thunder is my preferred version. So that usurps the Kinks Superman.
Oh, of course you would, Greg.
Because that one's about getting laid. I don't relate to this demon
so's
bullshit.
The original God of Thunder, not the original. So's Gene's version.
Gene's version is too much like I'm a demon.
Yeah, and we gon' fuck.
But Paul's version is just like, man, we gonna fuck. Like, we just dropped the demon bullshit. I don't need that demon shit.
Guys, what about the theme song from Scrubs? That's also called Superman.
Oh, that's pretty good.
There's the David Bowie song, The Superman.
Yep.
There's
the Superman theme by John Williams.
Yeah.
There's that It's Not Easy song by Five for Fighting. I almost said 5 Hour Frenzy, a band I would rather listen to than Five for Fighting, 99 times out of 100.
Yeah, same.
I will say David Bowie's The Superman is probably the best out of all these songs that we've mentioned.
I don't know. That Kinks song is pretty bitchin'.
It is.
See, I'm Bowie's one of my.
Oh yeah, there's the Goldfinger one. The ska band. Goldfinger, the ska band.
I know they exist.
But look, I will say that.
That was their biggest hit single.
Yeah.
I'm so confused, don't know what to do.
Oh yeah, that one. How did I forget?
Just selling that.
Yeah. There's a Taylor Swift song.
Ooh, probably great. I love T-Swizzle. But yeah, this definitely in the higher upper echelon of Superman songs.
Well, good.
So next up on the list, I don't know. I'm less enthused about this one than the ones we were just talking about. Begin to Begin. It's a solid opening track.
It is.
Damn
It
good
is such a
song.
solid opening track.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. Like Victor and I are agreeing on this. Like, yeah, it's a good opening track. Perfect.
This one rules.
Nailed it.
I like it.
They pulled it off. They got like that really like good post-punk, 80s alt-rock energy. They're just out there and they're kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah.
Beginning to kick the asses.
This is the first track on my biking playlist. When I go biking, it needs to be this. Otherwise, I'm not motivated enough. I think one of the more amusing things about it is like, imagine writing the lyrics, the birdie in the hand, and then being like, no, I can make that badass. He's just like, he sounds so fucking cool in this song.
Yeah. It's especially, since kind of the REM that I listen to the most is the Fables album. Getting to this album is always, it's such kind of a punch in the face to start it. It's really, whoa, it's a good one.
Yeah.
Where's my crickets drop?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, that's.
Do I need to go on about how awesome it is?
Yeah, there's
Greg, are the guitars dirty enough for you?
Not really.
Not really. Huh.
I mean, it's fine, but I think just for some reason, I am just not a fan of clean guitars and like a more aggressive rock in general. It's just even like songs that I like quite a bit, like Mike Oldfield really loves his clean guitars, and I'm just like, yo, dude, you would sound way more bitchin' if your guitars were like grittier. I think it's a good song, and weirdly, I think I just needed to play the right JRPG to really appreciate it, because I've started playing Star Ocean till the end of time. And it has nothing to do with this song, but for some reason, like after I started playing that with my wife, this song got way better. I don't know why. So I like it. I wanted to rock a little bit more, but it doesn't bother me as much as some of the other songs. And we're like, yeah, I want this to rock a little bit more, but it's like closer to my Bruce Springsteen stance where I want it to rock a little bit more, but I'm still like completely enjoying it.
Huh. I mean, if the guitars aren't doing it for you, surely the snare drum sound must be doing something.
Oh yeah, no, the
drum sounds are
the drums are fantastic. The bass is great. It's really like the guitar and the lead vocals aren't coming off as aggressive enough for me personally.
Man, I guess it's not aggressive. He's laid back and just sounding fucking cool.
Yeah, I guess, there was, I forget, it was some video I was watching, but it was explaining the differences between rap and hard rock. And, rap was about, like, laying back and being cool, and hard rock was about aggressive and going forward, and how they were sort of opposites in that way. And so, like, the laid back thing has never been, like, my thing, per se.
Yeah, I guess I can see that. I think the thing that I like about it is everyone else is going so hard, and then he's sort of like the eye of the storm in the middle of all the, like, kind of other people going nuts, and he's just kind of standing there looking badass, just kind of almost, like, barely singing the words until it gets to that higher part in the second verse.
You know, that's a cool dynamic I hadn't considered. And that's the kind of thing I wanted in your essay, so I could like re-listen to it before the episode and think of it that way.
Well, I didn't come up with it until just now.
Right.
So.
But also I think that's kind of the one of the benefits of doing this podcast is getting those different perspectives, so then you go back and listen to it and can appreciate it in a new way. Like, my goal is to not listen to something and be like, this sucks. It's to learn more about it, see why someone might love it, and then see if I can get that same interpretation. Like when we did the And Justice for All episode of Metallica, like I hated that album for years. Oh. And then I just went and watched reaction videos to every single song to find out why people liked it, because it still didn't click with me. And then after I did that, I'm like, yeah, that's a good album. And so this song, I think it's a solid opener. I think the musicians are killing it on the track, but
yeah, you can hear the bass.
Yeah, no,
Justice for All.
Yeah, you can hear the bass. And look, it's a well-written song. I don't know, look, there's a reason why I haven't done alternative rock for most of the years I've been doing music. There's a reason why, I'm just coming around on the genre recently. And I think the weird disconnect of being laid back around energetic music is confusing in my brain. It doesn't compute as a natural thing to do, and so I have to consciously examine what's happening for it to make sense to me. As opposed to just naturally falling into the groove. So I either need to intellectually analyze it or play a Star Ocean game before the song clicks with me.
Well, you know that this was kind of the basis for a pair of songs that Michael Stipe and Billy Corgan were writing.
I already know what it is. Just say it.
Begin. The beginning is the end is the beginning, and hang on.
The end is the beginning is the beginning.
Yes, yeah. The end is the beginning. Yeah. The sewers spit me up with a bird in the hand.
The birdie in the hand.
Are there birds where you are?
But yeah, so back to REM, away from Smashing Pumpkins for a moment. The melody on this song is extremely strong. It's a very catchy song. The lyrics are good. Honestly, no complaints other than just it not being the natural groove I find myself in musically. But I have no credible complaints with this song.
Fair enough, and maybe it'll be as your mind opens up to alternative rock as the years go on, maybe this one will start creeping up in songs that you like. I hope this for you.
The more I listen to it, the more I like it. So it's not that I dislike the song. It's just I prefer energetic vocals with an energetic backing track.
I feel kind of like this song is what you get if you slow down a tune by the Minutemen by 25%. For anyone who listens to the Minutemen.
I mean, that was what? Louie Louie, right?
Hmm?
Yeah, that's the only Minutemen song I know.
Oh, you never heard the Double Nickels on the Dime album?
Nope.
Oh, that would be a fun album to do. It's 30-something tracks or something.
Dang, that would be a long episode.
There we go.
And they're all anywhere from 50 seconds to 2 minutes. They're all very short.
We'll do that right after whichever They Might Be Giants album has a fingertips on it.
Apollo 18?
Yeah.
It's a damn good album.
It is, but fingertips would be annoying to rate.
No, come on, let's do it. Where's your sense of adventure?
Let's do it right now.
Let's do it right now. Everyone, go listen to it. Meet here in 45 minutes.
I mean, we do need more of a backlog.
Yes, you want to record an episode that'll take 4 hours.
Or the commercial album by The Residents. It's 40 songs.
I mean, we've already done JRPG soundtracks. This isn't that
new.
big of a leap for us.
Yeah.
Man, instead of leveraging for an REM episode after those 3 I did, I should have been let's do the Final Fantasy 12 soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh.
I would just bow out of that, let's be honest. How many tracks is that one?
95 or something.
Nope.
And look, Steve, are you listening to my reaction to that? I don't even want to do that one because I don't think it's that great. Aside from the simple tracks,
and hit the record button for you guys.
I would
read a book all day.
I don't want to do that one.
I would order them entirely at random and then defend them as if I knew what they were.
Just fake your way through. Yo, no, it's got that part that goes like.
I mean, the scene that this plays in made me cry.
You mean the generic battle scene on the second area you go to? Yes, that one.
Man, I wish they had battle themes in that game, as opposed to just letting the mellow map music play while you're fighting.
There's a couple of battle themes.
Yeah, boss themes only.
Flash of Steel.
Anyway, we'll argue about Final Fantasy 12 a different time.
Does it include shop theme?
Oh, man. Shop theme.
I think I've got that in here somewhere.
No, you got rid of it, didn't you?
No. I mean, I've somewhere got something. I've got an annoying button, I think, if I can't find it.
All right, so I'm going to move on to the next song in the ranking as we've derailed a bit.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think it would burn so fast.
Nope, never mind.
So we're coming in at the number 3 song on the ranking, a song I put 1 point lower than Begin the Begin. We've got These Days next on the list.
It's okay, I put it 1 point higher.
Yeah, there you go. I don't like vague, undirected angst. That's kind of what this is about lyrically, but I acknowledge it's probably a better song than Begin the Begin. It's more energetic. The vocals and the production of the guitars work more cohesively with the material. But this one I just docked a point purely based upon lyrics.
Okay.
But it's probably actually better than Begin the Begin, if I'm being completely honest.
This is so my theory on this is if you put These Days where I Believe was and I Believe where These Days was, I would probably like I Believe better.
Oh man, if it was like a 1-2 punch, we're just like, hey, here's the catchy pop single as number 2.
Yeah.
Oh,
which I think maybe even would have been a better move. But I like this one a lot. I like the kind of general energy of it. As I've said in previous episodes, I'm super lyrics deaf. So if
as you said in this episode.
Yeah, if if those aren't working for you, then it's like the only lyric I know from this song is I am not feeding off you. I will rearrange your scales if I can, and I can. And whoa, so how these days. But yeah, I mean, this song kind of rocks, so gets high marks from me. And also, this album is like pretty front loaded, and this is in the beginning.
It is a very front loaded album.
It's incredibly front loaded.
I disagree with all of you so much.
I was having to hide a bit over between these two songs as to which one was higher, but then I was like, all right, this one's got better harmony work, so we'll rank it one above.
Well, and I'll tell you what. If the banjo intro for I Believe was in front of These Times, it might have risen above my number 3. So it would have. It's currently my number 4. But if it had that bitchin' banjo intro or the BBI, it would have risen These Days to number 3.
I mean, this song does a really good job keeping the momentum of the album going, where, like, there's the option with a track 2 to either, do your big, catchy single, or, do something more energetic to keep the speed of the album moving, and they chose the, keep the energy up decision. And I think it works very well. And, once again, like, the complaints I had about, and very mild complaints about the vocals maybe not matching the energy of the previous song are not present here. Like, everyone is firing on all cylinders, doing what they're supposed to be doing, and it works as a complete piece. Once again, only knocked points for lyrics. I'm like, that's kind of dumb. As says the guy who listens to Love Gun. So, take that with a grain of salt.
These days, pull the trigger of my digga-da-da.
This is so one thing I noted, at least in my little essay about this one, was the bridge kind of, or like the instrumental section kind of reminds me of something that U2 would have done, probably not at this time, but like a few years before. Just kind of the way that the drums are kind of hitting random ambient percussion and there's just sort of a groove going on while Peter Buck, I guess, fucks around and does nothing. and somebody's like making noise. But yeah, I did like this one just rocks, and then Begin ends with that huge snare hit, and then this one begins with a huge snare hit, and it's pretty sweet sequencing.
Yeah, I'd say this is the one that benefits the most from sequencing out of every song on the album. If you, once again, replace this with I Believe, this one might be considered a forgettable song if you just, swapped their positions.
Yeah, I would actually agree with that.
I disagree. I think I would, having I Believe sooner than where it is, I think would shake my faith that the album I was that I was diving into would be enjoyable.
I like that song so much, and I'm so confused with this panel.
Well, look, it's 30 seconds of a brilliant tune, and then it just super nosedive, just right down. Like, I'm not saying it's sub pasticcio, medley or nothing, but goddamn
harsh.
Look, there are hot takes of mine that I acknowledge. I acknowledge the bullshit level. I still do not understand why I Believe is this disliked by the panel.
I mean, it's not even this disliked.
I think, yeah, I just I love this album. It's just not one of my very favorites. I don't think it's bad at all.
Look, something's got to rank in the middle, Greg.
My brain hurts, and it's not just because I haven't had any coffee today and I'm having caffeine withdrawal.
Could have made coffee when you got here, Greg.
That's why I was late.
I was busy dealing with fun other things.
Fun other things, if you know what he means.
And it's not Paul Stanley's dick. Now this person get some of his dick.
You were having fun with Paul Stanley's dick.
As one does. Actually, I will point out a lyrical pet peeve I have with alternative rock while we're here. This song, because it's such a well-written, well-performed song, I give it a bit more of a pass, but like I said, unspecified angst, I think is kind of dumb. And I think a lot of alternative rock bands think they're really clever when they're writing about unspecified angst, and I think it's just as dumb as put your hands in my pocket, grab into my rocket. Like, I think they're both dumb, but I think that there is a much more willing acceptance to call one of them dumb, when I think, no, they're both pretty stupid, except one of them thinks they're really clever, and one of them is just thinking with the wrong head.
I think I would agree with that, but I think in this specific instance, I don't think of Michael Stipe as a guy who thinks he's very clever. Although maybe at this time they were being pretty pretentious.
I think there's a level of pretentiousness to this, but I think the song is good enough where I'm giving it a pass. Like in the same way that, look, I give Love Gun a pass because it's a really good song, but the lyrics are shit. Girl, I can make you feel okay. Like,
look, what other standard can we hold any man to?
Yeah.
Especially a man like Paul Stanley.
So, speaking of embarrassing things, next up on the list, we have Cuyahoga.
I was hoping that this would have been higher.
It's number 2.
It is one spot too low.
It's my number 1 as well. I'm very curious to see why Greg is so not into it, though I have a vague...
I ranked it higher than Steve. I think it's one of the best songs on the album.
I'm one who tanked this ranking.
Oh, Steve.
So this one came down to the sequencing thing, and it was right next to Hyena, and so I said, these two are the same song, back to back. But Hyena is the better version of it.
Which they aren't. That's insane.
The first couple of times I listened to this album, I thought the same thing, and then just as I grew to love it more, I separated the two. But no, I 100% empathize with that position, even if it is fucking wrong as all hell.
I think the songs are like drastically different in terms of like tempo and energy and just like the general vibe they give off. So to me, like, you know, I guess they both end in A syllables, so there you go. I guess that makes them the same song.
Well, it's both just saying the name of the song over
Hyena and Cuyahoga.
I feel like you're getting the melody for Cuyahoga wrong. By intentionally making it sound more like Hyena to make your point, but they're not actually similar melodies.
I think they would both benefit from not being right next to each other.
Yeah, I mean, I think they would have benefited from being placed apart, but I think Cuyahoga, you know, when I first saw it, I immediately, being from Cleveland, Cuyahoga County, recognizing that word, I'm like, oh boy, what am I in for with this song? I'm like, oh, yep.
A real river fire of a song.
Damn it. So I am from a city that is pretty embarrassing. You know, they call themselves the City of Champions because they won one championship in the last 70 years, so that's why they're the City of Champions.
Maybe it's an ironic nickname, Greg.
No, they're serious about it.
Like Little John being a huge dude.
So, the City of Champions is such an awesome city that their lakes and rivers got so bad that they would just catch on fire. Water would catch on fire in that shithole. And so here's a song about how white people ruined the beautiful lands and nature that were once, revered by Native Americans, and it's a song about how, hey, we fucked it up so bad this lake caught on fire, this river caught on fire. I'm like, yep, that's my hometown. Go my heritage.
Well, the silver lining in that is that the Cuyahoga River fires were one of the main inspirations to get the EPA started.
Right? Which is being dismantled right now.
Well, I mean, it was good while it lasted. So now we might as well just, rearrange the deck chairs on the Titanic while we just kind of slam on into that melting iceberg.
And we can sing Cuyahoga, a very beautiful song.
Or if this was recorded by the Ramones, Cuyahoga Gabba Gabba Hey.
But what I'll say with this embarrassment of my heritage aside, of being from shitty white people from Cleveland, this is one of the more musically complex songs on the album. Lots of chord changes and a clever melody on top of those chord changes. And actual good lyrics, where the way that I'm, embarrassed by Swan Swan H for different reasons, I'm impressed with the lyrics of this and think they're very poignant, powerful, and just an all-around brilliant composition, where I basically have zero complaints with it. It is doing exactly what it needs to do in the right way, and if this had won number one in the ranking, I would have been, once again, just embarrassed only because I'm from Cleveland, but would have respected it coming out at number one.
Okay, I'm glad it was just... Because the thing I was worried about when you brought that up in the chat, I was kind of like, do you think they're, making fun of you or something? That's not the idea.
I think they are, and that's fine, because Clevelanders deserve it, because fuck that place. Are they making fun of Cleveland? Probably. Do they have it coming? Yes.
Now your dad's gonna do an REM parody about, how everybody in Atlanta, sucks and has
it'd be great if he covered this song and changed the lyrics to it about how great Cleveland is. Without any sense of irony.
Your racist Indian sports team is worse than ours.
Do you think that when he would perform this song, across the world, that he would do the very rock star move of substituting the names of whatever local river, Mississippi or Charles River or the Nile,
Thames. Oh my god.
The fjords.
The Danube.
The Euphrates.
Hell yeah.
Well, no, Pixies already did that one.
Okay.
The River Euphrates. That's
fine. The Tigris.
All right, so now that I found out you guys know way more rivers than I would have thought.
River Phoenix. Ow.
Damn it.
And I got jokes this episode, guys, because I'll start with the serious thought that led into the joke thought. People have been or Steve has been saying that he feels that Cuyahoga and Hyena are very similar songs.
Mm-hmm.
I disagree with that. A, because it's wrong, and B, because the song that it actually resembles is Cahotek from the Fables album.
Yeah, I would agree.
Which leads me to want to do EDM remixes of REM tunes and release it under the name Cahotechno.
And you could mash up. Your artist moniker could be REDM.
REDM.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good.
That is pretty good.
Well, I'd just be Koya Gavin. Let's be real.
So aside from puns, what other thoughts do we have on this song?
Well, begin the Gavin.
Oh yes. This is an absolutely gorgeous tune. It's just so incredibly well written, well put together. The playing on it is phenomenal. The vocals are touching and sweet, and but also like really kind of acidic and angry. But it's just kind of this kind of perfect storm of so many different feelings and sounds. It's a true. I would put it among one of the great songs. Period.
Yes, this is a top 5 REM for me for sure, and this is one that their catalog has quite a few of these, but this is one that I like listen to try and learn, and then once I had the chords down, I looked up the lyrics to like sing them, and I couldn't get to the first chorus without like crying. This is just such a goddamn beautiful song.
Yeah.
I agree, and I agree that Steve is wrong.
Man, it's just fine. It's all right.
Have you no soul?
And he doesn't.
We've discussed this many times.
Oh, you know what? Never mind then.
Thanks for bringing it up. Rude.
And to compare this to Swan H, bringing it back to that song, this is a social critique song that I think works much better. I think there's, I don't know. I guess I feel better about you making fun of my shitty white people than any justification of I'm just done with Civil War talk. But yes, tell me about how Clevelanders are shitty towards natives.
I mean, I think there's something to be said for Southerners calling out Northerners for being terrible racists. We've got plenty of instances of the reverse of it. We probably need both.
And that I'm fine with.
We probably also need Northerners calling out Northerners for being shitty racists, and vice versa.
I do. That's why I left Cleveland for a reason, man. All right. See you, Chief
Where's
Wahoo.
Neil Young when you need him?
Right?
Woof.
But yeah, Cuyahoga, it's a great song. I would say it's a classic. No complaints with me with this one. Yeah, just all around great tune. And we are at the number 1 song on the ranking, so let's go through the list from the bottom to the top. The Flowers of Guatemala. What If We Give It All Away? Underneath the Bunker. Just a Touch. Hyena. Swan H. I Believe, ranked way too low. I Am Superman, also ranked way too low. Begin the Begin, ranked appropriately. These Days. Cuyahoga. But the best song on Life's Rich Pageant by REM, according to this panel of experts and me. We've got Fall on Me as the best song on the album. It's the single!
Correctly.
It's
the single
enough.
for a reason.
Yeah.
It's a great
What are you,
song.
Greg?
Maybe? Am I?
Who ranked it the lowest?
Probably me. I put it at number 4.
Oh, okay, yeah. I had it at 3.
As did Greg.
Yeah, so,
I put Under the Bunker above it, and I very nearly didn't. But there's been so much bridge talk on this episode. Here's my potentially hot take, but I hope it isn't a hot take. I hate the bridge of this song.
fuck you. Sorry, that came out way too harsh.
It came out way too harsh and also way too automatically.
So I like the song a lot, it turns out, if that's my just natural response to that.
I was going to say, yeah.
So, first off, sorry, I love you, you're my friend, and I respect you a lot.
I love you and respect you too.
But also, reflecting upon it more, fuck you.
The bridge of this song, though, just falls so flat when the verse and choruses
Would
are
you say that
just
the bridge just falls on you?
it falls well okay, Victor will get this joke.
Sure.
You know, when Michael was writing this song, Michael built a bridge, Michael burned it down.
Oh.
And sorry, that joke just got me, and sorry, but it's a beautiful song, but there's just like those 4 bars, the when it in the sky, and it didn't anymore, and I say it to the and then we're back into the beautiful pre-chorus, and then everything's fine, but just that bridge was enough to make it lose to the brilliance that is underneath the bunker.
I think I kind of get where you're coming from. This is that's a bridge that's grown on me. I don't know if I 100% think it's good, but I do like Mike Mills enough that I kind of give it a pass. But I would agree it's maybe a little closer to what I was talking about earlier about not liking them. But it does have Mike Mills, whose voice is like just so similar but so different from Michael Stipe's that I kind of love that they're both in this band.
Yeah,
kind of a Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins
vocal thing going on.
Yeah. Yeah, it's but the fucking rest of the song is so goddamn good.
Yeah, I think this is a incredibly impressive single. I think just with this episode, the songs at the bottom of the ranking I wasn't as hot on, so it made me feel like I was coming at this album too negatively, where I actually like it a lot. And I would say this is a fantastic single where the playing, production, singing, writing, all completely gels and completely works for me. So for the couple songs in that where there were things that just didn't quite click, I don't have that issue with this track at all. Just it succeeds with what it sets out to do.
Freudian slip.
Yeah.
But
Greg's just really turned on by Acid Rain.
Right.
He just really wants Michael Stipe to fall on him all over him with his...
Yeah, keep digging.
With just a touch. What if he gives it away?
All right, here, I'll make it for you. I want Michael Stipe to give me some of that Acid Rain all over me.
There it is.
There you go. I helped you out. Feel free to isolate that, Steve. Future REM episodes.
Ooh, I like the idea of future REM episodes. Even after this train wreck.
But, I think, I don't know what could be negatively said about this song that's actually correct.
The bridge is terrible.
Right, that's actually correct. I would need someone to actually say something that is correctly negative about this. And because Gavin is saying incoherent nonsense that isn't real, I can just ignore that. This is a great song.
It is confusing. It's confusing that... sorry, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead, Steve.
I was going to say, it's confusing that the best song in this album shares a name with the best Eric Stewart song.
No, that's called Falls on Me. That has an S.
I mean, yeah, but
it's totally different.
The same song title. It's also confusing that Mike Mills is both the name of the dude from REM and the name of the dude from Toe Hider.
And it's a complete sentence.
It's true.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean,
who's Mike? Oh, Mike Mills.
Mike Mills about that shitty bridge. and Michael should have burned it down.
Michael burned the bridge ashore. Hallelujah.
No, this song, along with several other cuts on the album, is definitely worthy of adding to just a general music playlist.
Yes.
So whether or not you're a huge REM fan or not, there's probably at least 5 songs that are just good to add onto a playlist. And if they come up, you're just shoot, yeah, it's a classic.
Yeah, I'm glad we kind of agreed on generally the top 5 of this album, even though it was out of order and Steve was just so wrong about Cuyahoga.
Yeah, the top one.
Welcome to how I feel about Steve on Kiss episodes. Also, I'm impressed that Steve was the one who still managed to outrage people on an episode with his terrible, terrible opinions.
I'm here to do two things: have bad opinions and yell at Greg for his even worse opinions. And Greg had run out of bad opinions by then.
And also, we didn't all agree on the top 5 because I was the only one with the cojones to put underneath the bunker in the top 5 where
Very
it
true.
belongs.
And I was the only one who put I Believe as number 1.
Yo,
Also
which,
true.
come on, that's... Look, I love the Banjo Part 2, Greg, but that song can only ride so far on that inertia.
So this is normally the part of the show where we talk about the rank and if we were surprised by it and happy with it. I was definitely surprised. I thought I Believe would at least be top 4. I didn't expect it to rank that low, so that was really shocking for me. Yeah, that's my big shocker of the ranking. Anyone else surprised with this ranking?
Well, I also think that's interesting because I felt like I was in the minority of not being in love with I Believe. So I thought it was going to be higher as well. I think now I really understand Greg, probably not even certainly not to the degree that you did with like Bad for Good, but just what it's like to bring on an album that you love and then have people be just so wrong about it. I get it now, and my respect for everyone here has just gone up immeasurably.
Really, I would have felt it gone down. We're just like, man, all these guys are full of shit.
No,
I don't know what's wrong with them. They would listen to one of my favorite albums and shit all over it. I mean, it's okay when I do it because I'm right.
It's like, I mean, you guys can both be full of shit and love like bad stuff, but to still put that in front of other people who are more correct about things you like than you, and to have it ripped apart like that, and it's not even that this album got eviscerated, but I get it. I get it now, and I'll have to go into my chrysalis and constitute my body.
I understand.
He'll emerge with a stronger exoskeleton and also just much stronger opinions about REM.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I mean,
And a sword.
the part 2 of our Bad for Good series was, an absolute obliteration of an album I love. Like, Brad ripped that album a new asshole. But I think,
He seemed to feel really bad about it when we saw it at Rockin' Pod.
And I'm just like, dude, like, it's fine. It was funny.
I did that thing that you asked me to do, and I'm sorry.
Like, the honesty was appreciated, and I think with this, this was, I think, a very difficult album for me to discuss because, like, I didn't hate it, and it didn't blow me away either.
I get that. I think like it's one that I was so in love with when I first started getting into them in those hallowed days of 2018. But now like it swings a lot in my personal rankings of their albums. I just I think it's still, even if it's not perfect, which I'll admit, I still think it's a capital G great, and I think it's worthy of the discussion, even if that discussion didn't go like necessarily as I had hoped all the way through, but it has undeniable tracks on it.
So I guess I want to know, what would your ideal way this discussion would have gone? Because I'm curious as to like what you expected and what was not expected.
Well, honestly, I expected everyone to love I Believe more than me, and
one person did.
Yeah, and I think I expected. It was just like everybody liked different songs, which I guess, when you love an album so much and don't talk about it with that many other people and then finally bring other people in, it turns out that not everyone is you.
It's a very sage thing.
I love the energy of this one so much, and I kept bringing that up because for me, the context is so clear in my head oh, they went from Fables of the Reconstruction, where they were so like bummed out about everything, and like their being a band was kind of becoming difficult for them, and it hadn't been difficult yet. And then for like that album to come out, and it was so great, but like really controversial among the fan base, I think, and maybe even still now. And then for them to come out with this and just like kick you in the nuts with Begin the Begin, it's kind of amazing to me. And this, fair enough, like not every song on here is perfect, but it's just such a, like, for a band that I respect so much, it's such a step forward or at least a step in a direction that was not kind of where they were headed if you chart the path.
Yeah, it was a pivot. It was moving forward. The thing is, I would still say this is a great album. It's just I wanted to be blown away by it, and instead I just liked it a lot.
And that's fair enough. And luckily for both of us, they have so many other great albums that surely one of those will blow you away.
And the thing is, that's kind of what I'm sensing. At least from what I've heard of the band, where I feel like there's more layers for me to uncover. And, once again, I'm leaving this album very favorable, liking it more each time I listen to it. I made like a couple comments about just like, oh, I think this lyric is dumb. But I mean, look, there are albums that I love, and I think almost all the lyrics on that album are dumb. So if there's only like, on this album, really 2 songs where I really have gripes with the lyrics, that's a pretty good ratio.
It's also... Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just going to make a dumb joke that I lost. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. It's one interesting thing is like, I think when I initially was like, oh, we're going to start doing REM on the Lipstick panel or whatever, or at least we'll do a couple. My initial path kind of was tailored to what I thought you might like. And then the more we've talked about it, how drastically what I assumed that would be has changed, where now I'm like, maybe we'll skip ahead to like 1, but I think it would be just better to go chronological. But I'm also thinking you would love Out of Time because it's so like all over the place and has maybe the best troll song they've ever written.
I mean, and
it's not Shiny Happy People, I will tell you that.
I didn't even realize Shiny Happy People was a troll song. I just thought it was a pop single.
It's a little both. It's a song that REM fans hate because it's so like sugary.
Oh, I think it's great, but also
it's pretty great. But
it's got some of the people from B-52s on it.
Yes,
can't go wrong there.
It's so good, but like there is a track on that album that is so. Oh my god, I'm so excited to talk about it.
I will say this. I've been going through the Smashing Pumpkins catalog on this show, and the first Pumpkins album we did, I hated.
Yeah. Oh, really? Is that?
Yeah, he
did. I don't think I've heard anything about that.
Oh my god.
And this, I view much more favorably than that piece of trash. Because this is a great album with a bunch of good songs, as opposed to maybe 2 or 3 on the other album. So, that's a very strong start for REM on the Lipstick panel. I think there's definitely, room for me to grow and, listen to the band more. Like, I'm going to be listening to more REM, even regardless of when we schedule more episodes. Like, I'm going to just start diving through the catalog on my own. And revisiting it. So it's enough where I want to listen to more of the band. I like what I've heard, and I'm excited to listen to more. And I think, I think this just might not have been the album that would be the best for me to start with, for my taste. Because it's polishing up the sound, it's getting more commercial, but it's maybe losing a little bit of the, like, edge and original creativity they might have had. At least in terms of instrumentation.
Yeah, because, I mean, like, I base this entirely off of which album kind of started me into loving them. And that, like, again, it turns out most people are not me. In fact, 99 point, an absurd number of 9% of this earth is not me.
Well, yeah, in the same way that most people, their favorite Jim Steinman album is Bad Out of Hell. Not Bad for Good. You know, the one that's in the top 10 of albums of all time versus the one really obscure, weird one Greg likes. Turns out, as many people are not you, I think there are more who are not me.
That is not even how math works, Greg.
I had a potentially brilliant idea of
You've been on a roll so far, so I'm excited for this.
Well, we should do not that I'm an official part of the far be it from me to suggest an actual episode being a guest and not a member of Lipstick, but
how dare you?
I mean, if you just record digital drums for us, you're in the band.
I'll do it. I mean, if I'm saying this in front of God and everybody, if you want me to appear on a Lipstick album, I'll do it.
If you need me to play the jaw harp, you want to use this right here?
Whoa.
Maybe.
I mean, yeah, hey, we did a Black Sabbath episode. We're cool with that.
Just drop that in.
But we should do Thick as a Brick by Jethro Tull.
Great album.
It's a brilliant album.
So,
but do you rank side one or side?
That is Thick as a Brick.
Well, but it's 1 and 2. So there's the break in the middle.
I'm thinking the CD version where I think they might edit that break out.
All the CD versions I've ever heard of have kept it. I mean, they close it up a little bit more.
I kind of want to do Crest of a Knave and invite Joe and Caleb on and to say, see, this is the album that won the Grammy over Metallica, and listen to how much better it is.
Steel Monkey. Crest of a Knave is such a terrible album, though.
I actually love that album.
Oh, you would, Greg. Greg, are we gonna have to have like just screaming matches over what good and bad Jethro Tull is, and then the whole internet would laugh at us because we're talking about
Jethro Tull?
Yeah, and like that. That is the hill that I die on the most is defending Jethro Tull, even more than Kiss.
I mean, Jethro Tull is great. The thing is, I think this happens almost every time there's like someone finds out I'm into a band that they like. And then they find like the album they hate most by that band. Like when we were doing the Loudness episode, and everyone else had to go for a second, it was just Chris Lathrop and I talking. We were talking about the Rolling Stones, and he's just like, man, fucking Dirty Work is a terrible album. I was like, wait, you love that, don't you? I'm like, of course I do. It's the Stones doing hair metal. I'm like, oh, fuck you. So
Loudness,
great band. We got Victor's take on the ranking. How did everyone else feel?
I didn't know what to think going in. I remember when I made my list and sent it to Greg, I had my semi-usual thought of, this is my least offensive ranking that I've ever done. And I just kind of thought that, maybe I knew underneath the bunker was gonna, not be in everyone's top 5. But other than that, I thought that I had it kind of right. Or at least kind of what the median would be. And but then what's with all this people voting for I Believe anything higher than, number 10? Like that's just wrong. And I take umbrage with Cuyahoga being above Fall on Me. Or sorry, with Fall on Me being above Cuyahoga. Just because of my dislike of the bridge of Fall on Me.
And Steve, any hot takes on the ranking?
This was a pretty floaty ranking, I'm going to be honest. I believe I won, though, in that I got 4 songs positioned exactly correct, to the next closest being Victor with 2.
Wow.
I got 1.
You got 2.
Well, look, it's just Steve is the one who understands alt-rock the best out of everyone on this panel.
I mean, I
That's
understand
probably true.
bad alt-rock the best because I got the bottom 3 right and the top 1.
Well, I mean, look, that explains some of the musical choices you've made.
But in general, this was a pretty tight ranking. The swing between any 2 songs is usually within 3.
Especially since I was on One for All, where it was like we were kind of so all the three of us, that huge panel of
The huge
people.
panel of three.
Like we like almost the whole time it was kind of like, oh, you put this ended up at number 6. Well, I put it at number 8. It was so we were all so in sync the whole time. I think
This
even
song is
I had
also bad. Yeah.
I think I even had like the bottom 6 songs of the ranking were my bottom 6. Like it was that specific, and we all agreed on the top 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
Send in the Clowns was number 1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
and
Good.
Space
like
Ace
to
was
have,
too.
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah. God damn it. That fucking album.
But yeah, so
And
going from that to this, where like it's way all over the place.
yeah.
Because I
And where
remember
I've
you
heard the
mentioning
album so many times.
I remember you mentioning saying that one of the things you liked was like the close knit nature of that last panel, and maybe there was a part that thought like, oh, the rankings will be kind of similar then if everyone's like, it's just a small panel.
Nope.
And no,
Yeah. just like completely not at all what I was expecting. But
I
it was a learning experience for me.
But I think that also, offers some insights about the album having enough strong cuts where there's different things that bring out different affections from different people. So the fact that I could rightly recognize that I Believe is the best song, and you guys could, incorrectly think that Cuyahoga or Fall on Me is the best song. It just shows that there's diversity in this material.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so that is our episode. Victor, where can people find you and your REM cover album on the internet?
So I'm on Twitter at TheVictasticK, but more importantly, I'm on Spotify, Bandcamp, and SoundCloud as James Gameboy. And it's not on Spotify because I can't afford all of those rights, but I recently covered REM's 2001 album Reveal in its entirety, and it is available on Bandcamp and SoundCloud for free, and I would like it if you would listen to it, because boy, are those listen numbers depressing. I wish I couldn't see them. But I'm very proud of the album.
Why are you giving this the sad applause to him saying no one's listening to it?
It's because the RNG decided. I even gave it to him twice. He was just talking over it the first time, so nobody could hear it.
Oh, I couldn't hear it at all.
Yeah.
I heard it very faintly this time.
And it's because the sad applause drop is very faint.
You know what? I'm going to toss this out there as a potentially terrible idea for the listed panel. I would be down for doing multi-parter on Reveal. One ranking the REM album, one ranking Victor's.
I would love that. As even after my soul was kind of ripped apart during this, I would love that.
I mean, your soul would probably get ripped apart much more during that process. It's like, you know what?
I'm kind of looking forward to it.
This version was really great on the REM album, but just Victor's just didn't do it for me.
I would love to hear it. I probably shouldn't be a part of it.
Nah, you should be a part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd have to rank my own album.
You would.
I think I could actually probably do that.
Yeah, dude, you have enough balls to do it. You're fine.
Let's do it.
Gavin, where can people find you and your band on the internet?
Well, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, MySpace, FetLife, LinkedIn, Bent Knee Music. Bent Knee is the name of the band, but due to people, you just gotta look up Bent Knee Music. Or go to bentkneemusic.com. We got a new album coming out in October 11th. You Know What They Mean. We got, the second single just dropped a little bit ago. And there might be another one coming soon, maybe. And then we're going on tour this summer. Sadly, we aren't hitting Nashville, which I'm quite bummed about.
What, you mean you like actually getting paid for gigs?
Sir, I like the fact that you think we get paid for gigs. That's very nice.
Look, all the people on the prog metal Reddit think you guys are great, so I assume you're making boatloads of cash. Moving on.
Sad clap drop again.
But yeah, no, look for Bent Knee. We'll be coming to a town near you.
Except not near us.
Except not near Greg.
You'll be passing by Craig Smith, though, and he'll get into a fight with you over your correct opinions on Machina 2.
Right.
Well, he will be out of town when I'm there. He and I have already attempted to connect to line up the battle royale that our meeting will be. So
Oh, sorry. I was going to make a snarky comment about you were saying that you're called Bent Knee, but you have to get Bent Knee music on most platforms, and I was going to say especially FetLife. Oh wait, no, yeah, especially FetLife. Yeah.
Yeah, no, especially FetLife.
Just followed you on Spotify, and I will be listening this week.
Thank you very much.
I don't have Spotify because I'm too broke for it.
Yeah.
And you're like, what? He can't afford Spotify? Yes, I am that broke.
Buy Lipstick Generation albums wherever fine lipstick products are sold, such as lipstickgeneration.com and on all of our social media platforms as Lipstick Generation or Mr. Cool Rock and Roll.
That's our episode. Bye.
Oh, it's such a downer.
Well done, lads.
None of us have money except Steve.